Hello, this is Sarah Cullens, President of Finesse Staffing. This is a video from a recent labor law seminar that we hosted at the City of San Bernardino Economic Development Agency Office of Business Development. The seminar focused on recent changes in California employment laws. These are issues that all employers should know about. The seminar was part of our quarterly training series that provides free personnel workshops to the community. The presenter was Stacy Rochelle, a regional director with the California Employers Association.
I'm Sarah Cullens. I'm the president of Finesse Staffing, and I wanted to welcome you to our 2012 labor law update. This is the second labor law update we've had, and we're very excited about the turnout today. Finesse Staffing is a temporary and direct hire staffing firm. We're based in Rancho Cucamonga, California. We place people in clerical, legal, financial, light industrial, IT, and executive positions. I'd like to introduce my staff. Over here is Mike Clark. He is our safety director, and he's responsible for going out to all of our job sites and making sure that everyone is working safely, and he can help you with reports and safety issues that you might have as well. Next to him is Stacey Bond. She is our executive legal recruiter. Next to her is Maria Martinez. She's our finance director. Next to Maria is Eric Gonzalez. He's our account executive. In the back, sorry, she looks a little surprised. That's Mary Mack. She is our owner, and we bring her out once a year to this thing.
Actually, that's true.
Today, our program is being presented by the California Employer Association, and I'd like to introduce to you Scott Deere, who is the Director of Member Services for that organization, and he's going to take it from here.
Thank you very much for coming here. I'd like to thank Sarah for inviting us here. Sarah is with Finesse Staffing, is our exclusive Inland Empire staffing partner, so you can certainly trust what they do. We do. You all have a packet. I want to make sure you all have one of these packets. Anybody not have one? This is important. You, the gentleman back here that does not have one. Anybody else? Okay. In the packets, the first thing you want to make sure that's on top is the presentation. This one right here. Make sure everybody. Some of these I put together kind of backwards, and I apologize for that. It's my fault. But that should be up front. The rest of this is a lot of information that we will be going over. These are forms, checklists, and policies that we will be referencing throughout the presentation. And then lastly, of course, we have our evaluation, which is very important. This is the CEA evaluation, so that we can make sure that we're presenting the correct materials, that we're doing the job that we need to do. CEA is a non-profit employers association here in California. We focus strictly in California. We're spread out throughout the state. We represent over 8,000 businesses through our various memberships and hotlines. Anybody have one of these on? Aren't they great? Except in a meeting like this. As a matter of fact, any of you have Angry Birds on yours? Excellent. Did you know that every single day, 300 million minutes of time are used with Angry Birds? That's equivalent to 24 years every hour of wasted time. So, and I have Angry Birds too, and I've actually finished. I'm waiting for all three of them to come up with their new ones. So this is an interactive program as well, but I'm going to try to keep the questions down to a minimum. If you don't mind, this is a long program. It's probably going to fulfill the full 2 hours. If we have a question and we're short on time, Stacy may ask to refer to the end of the program. Stacy and I will stay here. We'll answer your questions, and we'll make sure that you're taken care of that way. Am I missing anything, Stacy? I think I've covered it. Okay.
You've covered everything.
Stacy Rochelle is our Southern California Regional Director, handles all of our Southern California clients. She's been with us now for 5 years. She's been in human resources for more than she wants me to say, so I won't. But focuses on California and multi-state organizations, so she can answer any of your questions while she's here, public and private as well. So please be my guest. And
Thank you, Scott. Good morning. Thank you for joining us today. I appreciate it. Today we're going to share some stories with you, tell you about some recent case laws, and I'll also spend some time talking about the new labor laws for 2012. And finally, we're going to end with some of the issues that are still sitting out there on the horizon. As Scott said, we have a lot of information to get through. I actually have a lot of notes on this particular year, so I will be taking questions as we go throughout, but if it looks like we have more questions on a particular topic than I'm able to cover, as Scott said, I will be here to answer those questions for you at the end of the program, okay? So let's talk about some of the recent case law. And Hooters restaurants. Hooters is always in the news. Hooters is always in court. I don't know what that is about them. Kind of interesting to me. Excuse me. So, a class action settlement was reached with several Sacramento area, Hooters, that will affect roughly 400 of their former Hooters employees. It was actually settled in December of last year. And basically what it was is that the Hooters filed a class action lawsuit against Hooters for violations of certain wage and hour laws. And you would think with an organization as large as Hooters, they would know better. What they were doing was they were actually charging employees for uniforms. They were making employees pay for patrons that dined and dashed. And they were actually failing to pay employees for all work performed. So what they were saying is, hey, it's fun to be at Hooters. You know what? We're going to have an evening program, and you should stay and work for free. And they were actually convincing their employees to do this. Finally, someone said, aha, I don't think we should be doing this. Something is not quite right. I still feel like I'm working. I'm still in my uniform. I might be having fun, but I want to get paid to be here for an evening event. And so, such as filed a class action lawsuit. It was settled. Of course, they never provide us with the settlement amounts, but I'm sure it was a pretty penny. And it just goes to show you that the takeaway on this is that you really should know your basic wage and hour law. A lot of times what employers will do is they will say, well, you know what, my employees agreed to do it, so it's okay. I got an agreement from them. I actually convinced them to even sign something saying that they agreed to do X, Y, and Z, to pay for their uniforms or to work overtime or work extra events without additional pay. And that will get you into a lot of hot water, even if the employee agrees to do it or even asks to do something of that nature. You need to make sure that you know what the basic wage and hour laws are and make sure that you're complying with them. And also understand that if you're going to require tools and uniforms, especially if they're distinctive in color, such as everybody knows the Hooters uniforms are pretty distinctive, right? Yeah. So you must provide and maintain those uniforms. If you are going to require someone to provide their own tools to do a job, you must pay those employees at least double the minimum wage. Otherwise, you have to provide those tools to the employee. So, very important to understand basic wage and hour law, okay?
What are the tools? What do you mean by tools?
So like an example of tools would be, let's say, a mechanic, okay? If you have a mechanic and you're saying as a mechanic or as an electrician, you should have certain tools to do your job. No electrician or no mechanic, you know, doesn't have these particular tools. And we even see it in a lot of job descriptions that say, you know, must have own tools. If you are going to require those types of tools, you have to pay at least double the minimum wage, which is right now $16 an hour. And that's a big thing.